The lesson of faith and compassion. These two intertwined stories highlight Jesus' compassion and the power of faith. The woman with the issue of blood demonstrated a profound faith that drove her to seek Jesus despite her fear and societal barriers. Her healing shows that Jesus recognizes and rewards faith, even when it is expressed in the simplest of ways. Jesus' response to her not only healed her physically, but also restored her spiritually and socially, calling her daughter and affirming her dignity. Jairus, on the other hand, faced the greatest fear of any parent, the loss of a child. Yet, Jesus' words to him, "Don't be afraid. Just believe," encouraged Jairus to maintain his faith despite the seemingly hopeless situation. Jesus' raising of Jairus' daughter from the dead demonstrated his power over life and death and his deep empathy for human suffering. These stories teach us that no situation is beyond hope and that faith, no matter how desperate, can lead to miraculous outcomes. Jesus' compassion for the marginalized and suffering continues to inspire us to reach out in faith, trust in his power, and extend his love and grace to others. The parable of the Good Samaritan. One day, an expert in the law stood up to test Jesus. "Teacher," he asked, "what must I do to inherit eternal life?" Jesus replied, "What is written in the law? How do you read it?" The expert answered, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength and with all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself." "You have answered correctly," Jesus said. "Do this and you will live." But wanting to justify himself, the expert asked Jesus, "And who is my neighbor?" In response, Jesus told a story. A man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho when he was attacked by robbers. They stripped him of his clothes, beat him, and went away, leaving him half dead. A priest happened to be going down the same road, and when he saw the man, he passed by on the other side. So too, a Levite, when he came to the place and saw him, passed by on the other side. But a Samaritan, as he traveled, came where the man was, and when he saw him, he took pity on him. He went to him and bandaged his wounds, pouring on oil and wine. Then he put the man on his own donkey, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. The next day, he took out 2 denarii and gave them to the innkeeper. "Look after him," he said, "and when I return, I will reimburse you for any extra expense you may have."